Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Show and our roster review number 3. We've got Matt English in the house, ready to do a roster review for cdvelazquez, Carlos, and his Little Bros League. It's a 10-team start 9 Dynasty League, and his rookie draft is coming up in late July, and he wants us to take a look at his roster in this league heading into its second season. So let's go ahead and bring up the roster for you all to take a look at, and then Matt and I can start deciphering what he should actually be trying to do here. All right. So there we are. There's his restrain. This is his squad. Again, it's a 10-team start 9 league. And basics of it, Carlos basically punted year 1 to try and gain some value and head into year 2 strong. He was able to get the 104 pick out of it, so he wasn't able to completely tank down to the 101. But he says this league is a little tough trading wise. So Matt, what are your thoughts on that so far?
Man, that's rough when you're in a league that it's tough to trade. 'Cause that's
there's been 4 trades in the league and he's been in 3 of them.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, trading is a huge part of Dynasty, because if you're not trading, you're not really playing Dynasty correctly. But to each their own. It's good for Carlos that he's doing some trades here. You got to do it, especially if you kind of tanked the ship for the first year. So it looks like he's got an early and a late first, a couple of mid seconds, a late second. I mean, he's got some decent draft capital for this year's rookie draft. Being that it starts 9, though, you really got to try and put together some assets to kind of crush into one asset that performs at a higher level. It's not like some of these leagues where we're starting 11 to 12 guys where you can kind of spread some of that out.
Yeah, I mean, do the math. There's 10 teams start 9. That's 90 players.
That's right. A lot of studs being started here. So, I mean, it's going to be tough sledding to sell some of these guys, especially on the running back side. That being said, he does have some assets that he could trade to get some better players. The first thing that's going to pop out to me is when I look at his quarterbacks. He's got 4 starting quarterbacks in a league that he's probably going to start 2. So I would probably look to move off of one of those top 3 quarterbacks. I would probably move off of Caleb Williams because he's got the high value or the middle value between his top 3. But
he has DJ Moore. He does have DJ Moore, so there's a stack there.
You hang on 1 second there, Birdman. That was going to be the receiver I said to package with Caleb Williams and just sell the stack. That's what I would do here because I think Michael Penix and Caleb Williams could have similar statistical years, but when you look at the value difference in what you could possibly bring by selling the stack, that would be a move I would look to do right off the top to find some sort of Bears enthusiast within your league or someone who at least appreciates Caleb more than I do, and try to sell that stack outright for something much bigger. Like he has Puka and Nico. I'm fine with Mark Andrews. That would leave him with Jalen and Michael Penix. I mean, he could package those 2 together for a very sexy running back if that's what he would like to do. I think keeping like Tyrone Tracy, Najee around. Is this a best ball league? I forgot to ask that.
No, it's just start 9 lineup league. So
okay,
that's where
IR slots.
There's probably I don't know. He didn't say whether there's IR slots.
Well, as long as you can put Jonathan Brooks in an IR slot. You don't necessarily have to let him go, but there's a lot of fodder there in that running back room, so to speak. Herbert, Kamani Vidal, Sean Tucker, all droppable right now. So is Aiden O'Connell, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. He can dump. Heck, probably even Josh.
Yeah.
Paul.
So from a roster construction perspective, he's got what 5, 10, 14, another 10, 24, 26 roster spots, right?
Right.
And I think I'd want to narrow down his wide receivers to as slim as possible, like Javon Baker, Whittington, Polk, Palmer, and even possibly Christian Kirk can all be gone, right? He doesn't need them. He only can start, he can literally only start 4 wide receivers every week. And if he rolls into the season with those top 5 wide receivers right there, I mean, that's doable with Puka, Nico, DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir as his 4th, and Coker as his backup, right? Yep. That's doable. Now, could he get up from, up tier a little bit from that? Absolutely. And that's where we're going to get at with the draft picks, I think. But he should definitely shop all of those 5 wide receivers there and try and get a 3rd or 4th for any of them. And if he can't, just cut him. Because
I agree.
He's got to make room for his draft picks that are coming in. He's got 6 draft picks that he's going to want to use on all running backs. Like, none of these running backs in a 10-team start 9 should be starting for you, unless it's Najee Harris as your RB2 or Tracy as your RB2, and the rest of your team is just stacked. So I would say between Penix or Caleb Williams, depending if he can sell that stack, sure, but he's got to make sure he's getting back a wide receiver.
So just for you want to get the wide receiver back on this one?
Well, if you're selling Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and then keeping Hurts, Penix, and Goff, I'd be wanting to upgrade from DJ Moore. That would be a move where he's going for an elite, top 5, 6 wide receiver. He's already got 2 of them. Why not go for the 3rd? Get yourself a CeeDee Lamb. Get one of another top 10 at least wide receiver. Go for that. Then you're set at wide receiver, and you've got all these draft picks to make on running backs. Now, he mentioned that the 101 is not open to trading and the 103 are not open to trading. He's sitting on the 104, but the 102 is open to trading.
Okay.
And that 102 is the 102. He could definitely go and get either Omarion Hampton or even draft Travis Hunter, because at 104 and 109 he can definitely draft running back.
Correct. Let's. I was just curious though. I've got something. The wheels are turning upstairs. Who's got the 102? I'd like to see their roster here real quick, just so that. Let's see. That's not it.
102 is. Let me slide down here. Oh, one of these bottom teams.
There's the
103. Oh, he got his picks. There's the guy with the 101. And there's the guy on the bottom. Johnny Kazi has the 102. So let's take a look at his squad. I'm just going to close this one up. Here we go. Okay, so there's the team with the 102 pick. They're sitting on Dak, Tua, Kyron, Joe Mixon, Rome, Tyreek, Jaden Reed. So he does have Rome Odunze, so there's an option to try and sell him Caleb Williams, okay, to get that 102. I wouldn't package up the 104 and 109 here to get the 102. Some might, but he needs multiple running backs, and I'm thinking that obviously with the 104 he could get somebody either Henderson or Judkins, whatever he'd want to do there. 109, I think Caleb Johnson or R.J. Harvey could fall there, and he gets.
How about this one? And this is just an idea. What if you were to package a Caleb Williams and DJ Moore together here? Because, I mean, let's face it, Tua is never healthy. When's the last time he's played a full season? So this guy's got to be looking at trying to get another quarterback to help substantiate.
Yeah.
That. So Caleb Williams and DJ Moore for Rome Odunze and the 102.
Yeah, I mean, I could see doing that, or just I mean, or Caleb for the 102 straight up. Then you're keeping the. I mean, it depends who you like more between DJ Moore and Rome. DJ Moore may score more. Maybe the other owner wants Rome and he values him more. It's something you could ask, definitely, though.
Sure.
Yeah, because you're going to pay more to get Rome back than to just give him. I mean, if you can get him to give you Rome and the 102 for that, yeah, I think that makes more sense value-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I know that the 101 is I guess my question for Carlos would be, so is the 101 not willing to trade because he doesn't think there's an offer that could sway him? Or
he just the 101 is he said the 101 is dead set on Genty.
Okay.
So
because I had a thought.
I tried to trade for Genty, but Guy is set on taking him with his 101 earned roster. That's how he put it.
Shoot, I'd say like, I don't know what the 101's receivers look like, but if you could do like Caleb, DJ, and the 104 to get the 101 plus a receiver, that's a really big offer.
Right. But again, you got to remember these guys don't value the quarterbacks as much. So,
yeah. Well,
like put it this way. He said in here he put Jalen Hurts on the block, and the best offer he got was a late first for Jalen Hurts, a single late first. So that's where you're at with the quarterbacks, and now he's sitting on 4 of them, and so he's got to kind of either get out of one creatively.
Yeah.
And again, this is a 10-team league, so quarterbacks aren't as valuable to begin with as in a 12-team or larger league. Now, the guy who has the 101 is right here. He's got Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, and Geno Smith. So he's already got 2 starters. He's probably already thinking he's fine. Plus, he's got Anthony Richardson as a possibility. So that's where it gets tough. Now, I think Johnny Kazi is the main guy, though, to try and go after. Otherwise, I forget who had. The guy who has Drake London could want Michael Penix, and then you could shift Michael Penix.
Now, that's a fair assessment, too. I'd just be trying to get Drake London out of the deal. So maybe you could leverage something like that.
Yeah, he could do Caleb Williams for Drake London. There's the guy. The top guy has him. Now, the top guy has Josh Allen and Kyler Murray. He owns that guy finished in 4th place last year. This guy's team is pretty well
built,
set, and he's got the 107. I don't think this guy's going to be, I shouldn't say the guy won't be willing to trade. But he doesn't really need to do a whole lot, this guy. Like, he's pretty well set, having McBride, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Higgins, and Williams. So getting back to Carlos's team, I would definitely start by shopping the bottom 5 wide receivers. Get what you can. You're fine at tight end with Andrews and Mayer. There's no need to do anything necessarily there. But yeah, I would look at trying to go after Drake London if you can, but otherwise trade Caleb Williams or Michael Penix and just shop them. I would go after that 102 pick though and grab Omarion Hampton for this roster.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, if you're keeping the 104 and 109, it depends how high he is on Travis Hunter. I could see taking Hunter there maybe, but if you think that you're just going to be able to get Hunter at the 104, know your league, look at who that 103 guy is going to take. If you can tell, see his roster.
One more up, I think.
There he is, 103. So this guy has Gibbs, JT, McCaffrey, Connor. He needs a wide receiver at 103. So this guy is going to go, would go
Hunter
or Tet. Now, he does need, he only has Daniels and then Russ at quarterback, so he could look at, maybe he hopes start falls to him at 203, but otherwise he could be looking Cam Ward too. If I was him, I'd be looking wide receiver though at 103. And so in that case, maybe I would draft Travis Hunter at 102 if I got that pick. Gamble this guy is going to take Tet or Cam Ward at 103, and then you get Hampton at 104 in that case.
Yeah.
It all hinges on the first move, though, being able to get the 102 pick. And so, Carlos, you know your league better than we do, those guys. So whatever Johnny Kazi, whatever it's going to take there. But, don't be afraid to offer him Penix as well, because you could try and work something out where you get Rome back there. All right. Now, as far as your draft picks go, I am, which is what he mentioned, I'm on board with literally firing away all 6 shots at running back here. If he keeps the roster construction that he has with those top 5 wide receivers, whether or not he keeps DJ Moore or not and flips to a different receiver, I'm totally fine with Khalil Shakir as your 4th wide receiver.
Well, you could also, you could try and steal that 103 as well. If you go and get the one, oh no, he said he's not really willing to trade. That's my fault.
Yeah, I think the 103 doesn't want to budge because he knows he can get a wide receiver there.
Right. Well, the other thing too is he does hold the 104. So if he can get the 102, right? If he's able to make that deal, then that leaves him. Then he can take a Hampton, and then at the 104 he can take Hunter or Tet, whoever's still there, or maybe he still has his choice. Then you fire another running back at 109, and then the second round he's got 3 picks, which the 209 looks Tootin-esque. The 204 or 206 would be a Scattaboo pick, and then you can mix in another one of those next tier receivers there as well. And then when you get in the 3rd round, throw a dart throw at a running back.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at like Jaden Blue, Dylan Sampson, or Devin Neal. Sure. Right in that area for the 304. But that's what I would be looking at doing. Just, based on what we've seen in drafts, with all the drafts we've done, you've done more than me. The 2nd round, I know you love you some Tootin. So
absolutely,
209 seems about right, is where I see Tootin go almost every draft.
Right. And then also, he doesn't have to make all of those second round selections. Now, I would start actually by trying to package all three of them up to move into the first round to get himself a higher end running back. Okay. Yeah. Try and get a top 8 pick. You own the 109. Try and get a top 8 pick with all three of those second rounders so that you can get yourself Judkins or Caleb Johnson or RJ Harvey for sure. And then one of them likely would fall to 109 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, yes, Scadaboo and Tootin have good potential, but they're just not on the level of those top 6 running backs.
And look,
really,
you package all three to get inside of the 109, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
4
yeah.
and 6 to get the 110 or 111 to try and get either Caleb or Harvey at that point, whoever can get at 109.
Right. Because in this shallow of a format where you're only starting 9, like you don't want a ton of value wrapped up in bench players.
Correct.
Like you want to try and get hammers. We're going hammer hunting here.
Right.
And so that is the main goal, Carlos. And I think we've given you a couple of good examples. Shop Penix, shop Caleb Williams, package DJ Moore with him if you can, and you're getting yourself back a solid stud young wide receiver. But again, if you want to package Caleb Williams and DJ Moore to go hunting for that elite tier wide receiver, we've got no problem with that. But again, try and package all three of those seconds up to move up. Somebody that doesn't have many picks, you've already traded. You got the 109 from somebody, and you got the 206 from somebody. I saw a couple teams there that are without a first or second round pick. Go after those teams because they will want to get involved in the draft. If they've been waiting and your draft here isn't until the end of July, that's a ways off yet. So you got plenty of time here. Just feel your league mates out and know, like, maybe they aren't even paying attention yet. And right now isn't the time to start offering them that. Maybe let them get settled in, and as it gets closer to the draft, then they start looking at the players, and then they see some of the guys that are going to be there in the second round. That's when they'll actually want to go and get those picks. Because right now, if they're not paying attention, or if they just watched the draft and they turned everything off since then they might not be quite aware of those running backs that got taken in the 4th and 5th rounds.
That's true. And the other thing you can do is you can put some stuff on the block that does notify, the league, and, put a disclaimer in there. Like, look, I'm taking offers on these picks. This is what I'm looking for in return. I'll review all the offers that come in. If one's good enough, I'll fire that trade right now. Otherwise, I'll just wait to the draft and start making some moves then. And just give a disclaimer. Yeah. There may not be a response, but at least people are aware. And the ones that are involved, or the ones that have been paying attention, could possibly start making offers or at least open trade talks.
Yeah, and again, this is a perfect example of a league to use the auto accept trade block, basically, where you just take your player's nickname and put any 4th for Javon Baker.
That's right.
Jalen Polk, any 4th. Josh Palmer, any 4th. Christian Kirk, even any 4th. This is maybe where you want to grease the wheels by just taking a little bit of a lesser value, right? In exchange. Literally all of these guys from Eckler on down through and Kirk on down, any of those guys you get a 4th for, it's going to benefit you because you got to open up roster spots for your draft picks anyway.
Correct.
And then there's plenty of guys in a 4-round 10-team draft. There's plenty of guys after pick 40 that you can pick up that are going to be just the same value as these other guys that you have. Yeah, if not higher. So, because like Trevor Etienne, somehow he on Keep Trade Cut, he's probably more valuable than all those guys in red right there and I've seen him go undrafted. Just a bunch of the running backs. Him, Manungai, Brashard Smith. Not in our leagues, of course. Brashard Smith. He's not available. But that's definitely those are the kind of guys you want to target, though, Carlos. And then just load up those running backs. You got 26 roster spots. Yeah, 13 of them can be running backs, maybe more. You need 3 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. That's 5 wide receivers. That's 10. You could have up to 16 running backs on this team. Just have a ton of dart throws for injuries to happen and spot starts.
Yep.
And but it starts with you greasing the wheels here and getting your league mates excited about this upcoming draft here. And yeah, again, maybe that means you lose a couple of deals. And you can even give away 2 of these guys for a single 4th. Maybe you go to the Drake May owner and offer him Jalen Polk and Javon Baker for a 4th.
Yeah, why not?
And then you draft Kyle Williams on him.
Hey man, look, it's like you said, you got to shave off some of the fat, so to speak. You got to cut the fat out of the meat here. I mean, my biggest takeaways is you're moving Caleb Williams or Michael Penix. If you can package DJ with Caleb to get a more bang for your buck, I would do it. And then, I'm moving for that 102 to lock down Omari and Hampton. And then at the 104, it gives you more options. You can take a receiver.
Or running back, or trade. Or trade it.
Get a later first to hammer out 2 more running backs that are in that tier of running back, right?
I mean, he'd be able to, if he starts getting these guys willing to trade, then he can package a second in the 104 or more and go after, a higher end running back rather than just a rookie. He could get himself into the top 5 running backs. I mean, this is the kind of league where you want a Bijan, Gibbs, or Genty. Genty's not going to get, but Bijan or Gibbs are probably tough to acquire. But that's what you really want in here in this format is as many hammers as possible, especially starting at receiver. And you've got a good start. You've got Puka and Nico, wide receivers 5 and 6 probably on the list, depending on where you have Nico and Brian Thomas. Nico and Brian Thomas could be 6 or 7. But just try and get squeeze one more top end wide receiver out of here, and you'll be looking really sharp.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And even A.J. Brown, if you can get A.J. Brown, you've got Jalen Hurts. You might as well try and go after the A.J. Brown owner too with either like the 109 or packaging DJ Moore in a second. There you go. That's perfect as well. Great idea.
Upgrade, you have a better stack. And,
DJ Moore in a second for AJ Brown, and then Caleb Williams for the 102. Boom. Done.
Yep. Dunzo.
All right, Carlos. So hopefully we gave you some good ideas here. Again, your draft is until the end of July, but hopefully you can grease the wheels here. And we'd love to do roster review for any of you out there. Just hit us up in the patreon.com/Birdhouse Dynasty Show. Let Matt and I dissect your team, dissect your league, your format, break it down, look at the draft picks, look at what's out there, what teams have excess at other positions. We use Dynasty Daddy, so thank you for shout out to Jeremy for his site here. And you can use that free tool as well, maybe to see where other teams in your league are stronger at some positions and you're weaker, and help grease the wheels for a trade for yourself. All right. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. Thanks, Matt, for joining today. Tons of fun dissecting somebody's team. Why not? We sit all day trying to dissect our own. Why not go after somebody else's, right? All right. now it's time to get back to our startup draft. This Sunday night, we will be doing the Birdhouse number 3 startup draft, and we'll be doing it live from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. First 10 rounds will be 5 minutes a pick, so we'll be ripping through those startup picks and have a ton of fun telling people what mistakes they've made. We'll give a few compliments. We'll give a few compliments to live, of course. Should be tons of fun. But again, yeah, make sure to hit the like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers before the 2025 season here in the Birdhouse. We're going to make it. I know it. All right. So thanks again for joining. And remember, never stop working.